With the global tourism industry taking a blow from the COVID-19 pandemic, will Caribbean countries heavily reliant on travel and tourism consider diversifying their economies? According to Visual Capitalist, using data from the World Travel and Tourism Council, St. Lucia is the third most dependent country in the world on travel and tourism, trailing only Antigua and Anguilla. In St. Lucia, travel and tourism accounted for 78% share of employment, or 62,500 jobs in 2019. According to Visual Capitalist, Prime Minister Allen Chastanet contends that while there might be temporary substitutes for economic activity during the pandemic-induced downturn, tourism cannot be replaced. Chastanet discussed the government's plan to stimulate the economy during the pandemic during a sit-down with renowned Caribbean economists this week.
Is about the diversification of tourism.
Right.
So I'm not a big believer in that because I don't think that if I grow my agricultural sector, it doesn't mean I can't have tourism and agriculture. It doesn't mean I can't have tourism and manufacturing. It doesn't mean I can't have tourism and my offshore financial services. So tourism doesn't displace any of those industries. In fact, what tourism does is tourism helps create a stronger platform for them. So in terms of agriculture, huge opportunity.
S&P Global Ratings anticipates the Caribbean tourism sector will probably decline by 60 to 70% from April to December compared to 2019. Chastanet believes the tourism sector has demonstrated its resilience time and time again. He foresees opportunities for the sector despite the pandemic.
After the Gulf War, after the 9/11, after the economic crisis, and even after hurricanes, the industry that has been recovering the fastest globally has been tourism.
Right.
So I think that tourism will come back strongly. I think that because of what we have succeeded in doing in the Caribbean, in keeping a relatively health-free environment, health-free zone, and that looking at where people are going to want to go, and some of the new trends we're seeing, this fight between the US and China, America and Europe, I think that there's a tremendous amount of opportunities for the Caribbean.
The Prime Minister argues tourism can be a vehicle for diversification in other sectors.
An English tourist who loves bananas, they love bananas more than any other country in the world, comes down and eats a banana, and I'm not helping to differentiate my product. I'm going back and selling it through the groceries chain as a commodity, of which I could never succeed. The same thing is going to happen with chocolate. And in terms of anybody in these part of the world that doesn't understand branding, I think, Marla, is lost.
Yeah.
Honestly, they'll never make that overall connection. So we keep talking about these linkages, but we don't make them happen. We don't know how to make them happen, right? And today, with the internet, the ability of people to purchase our products is made even easier. But we're not making that happen. So we've got to take advantage of that. So the diversification begins from that point.
Travel is somewhat back as countries around the world gradually lift travel restrictions and tourist attractions slowly reopen. The Pigeon Island National Park resumed services on July 4th, 2020. Moving forward, going on vacation will be a whole different exercise. Tourists must now present test results, certificates, undergo quarantine, and comply with a host of precautionary measures. In 2019, travel and tourism contributed to US $8.9 trillion contribution to the world's GDP, accounted for 10.3% of global GDP, 330 million jobs, with 1 in 10 jobs around the world, as well as US $1.7 trillion visitor exports of 6.8% of total exports, 28.3% of global services exports. Joachim Duplessis, HTS News Force.